Plaintiff Susan Leftwich and her daughter Faith Gurdon say Faith dated the defendant, and 2 years into the relationship, she claims the defendant became verbally abusive. Faith claims the defendant called her names and made fun of her weight, and Susan's suing him today for rent. Defendant Chad Scow says he dated Faith against his better judgment, and he insists she was the mentally abusive one who constantly ridiculed him. Chad does not believe he owes Susan for rent.
Start with you.
Okay, so I met Chad through my daughter Faith. They dated for roughly 3 years. Thought he was a great guy. He was going to school, working. After a couple of years with them, things just started going down.
You want to say something about that?
Yes. Starting of the third year, things started going a little rough. He started getting verbally abusive. He'd call me things like, tell me I was dumb, tell me I was stupid. He made a comment such as, if you were thinner, you'd be more attractive. He was insecure. He got controlling.
What did you say about his attraction?
I've never said anything about his attractiveness. I've always thought he was hot.
Lack thereof.
Even then, I always thought he was hot. Not so much now.
You're no longer blinded by love.
Definitely not.
Your eyes have been opened, and now you see.
My glasses, perfect prescription. He was really controlling. I wasn't allowed to see very many of my friends, which all of my friends have been childhood friends.
What do you think changed him after 2 years?
I have asked. I never really got an answer.
Okay.
There just wasn't very much communication afterwards.
Tell me about the relationship.
Okay, well, Judge, I'm going to be quite frank with you. I started dating Faith, met her on the internet, and started dating her against my better judgment. It wasn't 3 years, it was 2 years. I should have never gotten involved with her or her mom.
What was your judgment telling you then?
She was nice then, but after being with her for a while, she actually right away, right after I started dating her, she began to be mentally abusive. She would call me stupid. She was ready to say I love you after 2 months of dating. I wasn't ready to say I love you yet. She would call me stupid for not saying I love you yet.
What kind of drugs are you on?
Hi, stupid.
Right, I can see y'all call each other stupid every other minute.
I even have a signed statement from my sister that states that she would mentally abuse me and call me stupid and call me names for things that I wanted to do and I didn't do.
His sister hated her.
The same sister that hit me in the ear with a dog harness. The same sister that stays at home and drinks a Diet Coke.
How does any of that have to do with our case in hand? How does any of that have to do with our case in hand?
Go ahead, tell me about the rent. Let's get to the rent.
Let's get to the rent? Okay. So we decided we were all going to move in together, and he found this awesome house on...
What year was that, or month and year?
It was in 2014.
Okay.
December 2013,
right.
he found the house.
Okay.
We went out there, we looked at it, we liked it, we thought, okay, well, we could split everything in half, and I had to pay for the rental agreement, the credit checks for both of us because he didn't have the money. I paid all the move-in costs because he didn't have the money. So we got the house. We moved in January of 2014.
He wasn't that stupid. He knew to play broke. Go ahead.
They were going at it. She wanted to just go to Vegas for a week, just to be with her friend, just to get out of it, let him cool down, let her cool down. And anyway, he ended up moving out after 3 months on a 12-month lease. He told the owner he moved out and asked to be off the lease, and the owner told him he would take him off the lease if I agreed, and I said no because I knew he's going to want his money. I ended up having to pay all that money. They took it out of my wages. I became homeless for 3 months because of it. I lost my car because of it, and I'm out all this money.
Sir, what do you say to this?
What I have to say to that is, first of all, it wasn't after 3 months that I moved out. I have rent receipts in my possession a rent receipt that was done on March 31st for April.
All right, so you have one rent receipt?
No, yeah, and then the other receipt I have states that I paid my half of the rent in April.
All right, so you have March and April or just April?
Yes, March and April. We moved in on January.
Because I paid January.
All right, and when did you move out?
in April.
Did you give notice?
I noticed to who?
Anybody?
I let the landlord know.
Your
and
roommates.
I let the landlord know, and I talked to the landlord constantly on a daily basis.
So you didn't tell them you were about to
Yes,
leave them in
about a month
Alright, so
before
you
I
did
moved
tell
out,
them.
I had told them.
What was that? What was so hard about that question? You
not
kind
tell
of
us.
wavered with that question. Tell who?
He did
I
not.
told the landlord. I had to squeeze it out of you, so I don't believe you.
You
All
didn't
right.
tell us
You didn't
because
tell me.
when I
I
came
know.
home
I can
from
tell when
Vegas, you were
somebody's.
gone.
I can tell when somebody's lying. I do this
I
for a
remember
living.
I told you
I do this
because
for a
I
living.
screamed up to the
This is
stairs
not
and
my
I told
first
your
time.
mom that she's gonna have to find a new
right.
a new way to.
What else, sir? That's your
That's
only
not how you
defense.
tell somebody you're moving out.
It's telling somebody, isn't it?
No, it's not telling somebody. Telling somebody is giving them written notice.
One,
30
two,
days.
three.
I don't have to give you.
Nobody told
written
me.
notice.
Did
You
the
do.
landlord excuse
not
him,
renting.
to your knowledge,
No,
from his responsibility?
He said he would excuse him only if I agreed to it, and I told
Right.
the owner
That's
absolutely
typically
not.
the case. So why don't you think you should continue to pay your share that you agreed to pay?
The reason why I think I should not have to pay is because, first of all, when she used to use me all the time for my car, and I don't know where she's getting this, that I told her she couldn't visit her friends. She used my car to go visit her friends. She maxed out my credit cards.
Excuse
maxed
me,
out
and
my
I put
credit
gas
card.
in your car with my money.
She maxed out, or she put her eye care on my credit card.
Which I paid off.
She put her dental work on my credit card, which I still had to pay off after we broke up.
Crimea River.
She's not suing you. Miss Susan
Yes.
Leftwich is suing you. So that's who you have to defend against. Now, why should you pay the person that's suing you?
Because, as I was saying, Faith used to constantly put me down
Okay.
and mentally and verbally abuse me.
All right. Okay.
As I said,
those aren't legal defenses. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff. He has no legal defense to paying this. He's making stuff up as he goes. Have a good day.
Thank you. I just want to say the judge was very fair. It did sound like he was making stuff up, and it was fair.
They are both complete liars. A lot of what they said was untrue.
I'd like to say thank you for making me homeless for the last part of 2014. And you deserve everything you get.
Well, I'd like to tell you that I never loved you, and I never will.
Well,
That's
good
good.
because
That's
I
good.
found somebody way better
better.
than you.